The Apple Watch Series 7 is such a difficult watch to review in the sense that it does everything that it does ever so well, and the only competition it has is itself in terms of the predecessor to the Series 7. But having said that though, this is my review of the Apple Watch Series 7, and a massive shout out to Vodafone UK for supplying the review unit. Let's check it out. The new Watch Series 7 is basically a very subtle, refined update that's not for anyone who's got the previous Series 6, in my opinion. Apple promised a lot or hyped a lot of the new features, but they aren't enough to pay the price tag if you're coming from the Series 6, for example. But if you're coming from a really older generation, then absolutely the Series 7 is a great device. You're gonna really love it. It does a lot of cool stuff that we've been experiencing, plus more from the Series 6. So what's new? It's more durable with a tougher display, screen is bigger, they stretch the screen on the edges, for example. You have IPX6 dust resistant, screen is brighter indoors. In fact, you can actually see better as well when you sort of rotate your wrists and you're not really looking directly at it. It looks really nice as well, it's very visible. It charges faster as well, but still doesn't support regular Qi wireless charges. So if you have one of those lying around at home, you won't be able to do that. Or even the reverse charging feature that you have on the iPhone 13 Pro, for example, you won't be able to use that to charge your Apple Watch, which is disappointing. And in Apple Watch OS 8 as well, you also get two new custom watch faces, including one where you can add two bigger complications. You have keyboard inputs, which is pretty good actually, even though the screen is still a bit tiny to be typing anything at all on there, in my opinion. You have multiple timers, which is actually ridiculous to be a new feature for such a simple thing to be done to a smartphone or smartwatch in this case, for example. And you also get the usual like ECG monitor, HR monitor, and blood oxygen. And those are the things that really works well, in my opinion, as well. So there's a lot of things here that's just stuff that I like, stuff that I've used on this device that I really like, and it's just my opinion. Two things though. The design is excellent regardless of which size you go for, and this is the 41mm version, which is nice and small and dinky on the wrist, just fits perfectly well. You have plenty of choices in terms of color options available. The build quality is no issue at all. It's actually really well built. It's very durable. You can feel it. It feels very premium. And the way the crown feels as well, that nice haptic feedback, and when you're rotating it, it just feels really nice. And the way it sits on the wrist is comfortable, whether you're using it as a fitness tracker or fitness watch, for example, going for a run and exercise and all that kind of stuff, or you're just wearing it for a fashion statement. I think it looks pretty cool. You just have to pick the right one. You can even sort of customize how you can also build your own basically these days as well on the website, which I found very difficult to go through. It's not as straightforward as it seems, but is excellent. It is, for me though, the best smartwatch out there is, except for Android phone users who can't use this with their Android devices. The keyboard is nice, predictive text, and you can swipe to type things on that full QWERTY keyboard, but it's still quite kind of small in terms of the screen to be using it. But if you were to leave your phone at home for, when you're going out for a run, for example, you can quickly use that to reply to things, or basically it's probably easy just to use Siri anyway. From all the smartwatches I've used, the sensors work really well, even with my dark skin, which I often find an issue when it comes to Android smartwatches from places like brands like Samsung or Huawei. It means when I'm trying to monitor my blood oxygen levels, sometimes it doesn't really read it, even though they say they have a stronger laser sensor and all that stuff on the back. It still doesn't really work properly. Secondly, the battery life is not good enough for my usage or lifestyle. Yes, it can last a whole day if you use it for the basic things, but if you start using things like GPS and workout and all that stuff, as well as sleep monitoring, then it won't last you the whole day. But on the positive though, this charges faster, so you can charge it halfway through the day and just plug it in for maybe 20 minutes or so, and you get a little bit extra in terms of battery juice that's left to use. Other thing is you can just choose whether to monitor your sleep or not. Maybe that's not something that's important to you and you want to just charge it overnight. You can also do that too, so it's entirely up to you. You really can't knock Apple for this Series 7 at all. The display looks fantastic. It's so responsive from when you're just raising your wrist to kind of just operating the UI and just messing around with the whole UI and looking at the menus and settings and all that stuff. It just works really well. The larger size is pretty big though, and I'd probably say go for the smaller version that I've got here. That looks really nice. It looks fantastic, and even for myself, where I really like big watches normally, I ended up thinking actually after this review, after I send this back to Vodafone, I'm gonna go for the smaller version myself in this particular color, which I really quite like. So that's it for the Apple Watch Series 7. As always, let me know what you think in the comments below. Drop them there, and all relevant information will be in the description area, so do check it out if you want to do further research of your own. I know I didn't really dive in too deep in terms of specifications and some other bits in here. That's because that's what the Apple Watch Series 6 did already, and if you really want to find out those things, you can just check out apple.com. They have all those informations there for you. But Hope you find this review very useful, and if this is your first time around here, smash the subscribe button and the notification as well, so you know every time there's a video like this up on the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.